this thought around who is running the Giants right now has been circulating my head, and it's been around, it's been hovering over me the last couple weeks ever since John Mara's cancer diagnosis has been announced. And I want to make sure that I word all of this correctly. And I'm not talking about this to be edgy or like report on anything or like I want to be the one to talk about this because look at me. That's not what I'm doing this for. But I've been thinking about the Giants ownership and who is making decisions for the Giants and what does that process now look like as John Mara is battling cancer and as he's fighting cancer. And I do think it's a conversation that will inevitably heat up as the season comes to a close or even gets closer to finishing, right, and ending. But what is the current structure and what is going on with Giants leadership right now? I am hoping and praying John Mara beats cancer, and I know he's going to fight like hell through this treatment. I know that's what he's doing right now. But a lot of reporters, I think they're going to go silent on Mara's health and status, and even on this question of what's the current leadership structure and how is that going to change as John Mara's health may change. They're going to go quiet on that. And I understand why, from their perspective, this is going to be something that is not going to be talked about a lot by reporters. It's just not, at least not yet, because they're in a very difficult spot, right? If they ask their sources about John Mara, and it may be looked as prying, and it may look as being insensitive and ingenuine. Like, what? Why are you asking me about John Mara? Why are you asking me about his health? Why are you asking me about how he's doing? Are you just looking to get a quick report? Are you just looking to tweet this out? Are you just looking to get clicks on an article? So I could see from their perspective why this is a very sensitive thing that they probably may not want to talk about that much, right? But I would be lying to you that as a fan of the New York Football Giants, that who may be running this team is not on my mind. I don't think Julia Koch and the Koch family buying 10% of this franchise and doing it right now, I do not think that is a coincidence. So what will this mean for the team moving forward? What will it mean for the futures of Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll? And the question that I want to emphasize right now, are the Giants from a leadership standpoint even in the position to undergo an entire head coach and GM search? That is a big undergoing and undertaking. I think that is the biggest X factor question about this organization right now. And if you want my opinion, I do not think they are in a position to do that right now, to undergo both a head coach and a GM search. I don't think, while John Mara is battling cancer, I don't think they're in a position to fully do that. It doesn't mean that Joe Schoen shouldn't be fired, because you know me, man. Like, doing a bad job. The guy should be fired for doing a bad job. But I do think as an organization right now, there are much bigger dragons that they are trying to slay and things that they are trying to figure out that are way bigger than should we fire Shane Bowen? Should we fire Shane Bowen? A lot of people online see a lot of fans and the conversation that happens on Twitter and everything like that. Like, Shane Bowen should have been fired yesterday. Like, yeah, I agree. But in my brain, as a fan of this football team, and as a person, like, I want the best for everybody. I want everybody to be healthy and I want to win, everything like that. I'm not thinking about Shane Bowen. What is most in front of my brain right now is who is running this football team. What is the structure like? Are they even in a position from a leadership team to undergo this major change? And if you were to ask my opinion on this right now, November 4th at 5:27 p.m., I do not think they are. I do not think they are in any position. I don't think they're ready for it. And maybe that's something that they're talking about right now. Maybe that's something that, I don't know. I do not know what is happening in that building. Right, I don't have the slightest idea. Idea. I say that because my grandmother used to say idea, and I like that. That's not idea. She would have ideas. Her slower, lower Delaware accent that she developed over the years. So I hope that makes sense. And I hope I don't sound like an asshole for trying to this is not me prying about John Mara and his health. I want him to, he's gonna kick cancer's ass, he's gonna fight cancer, he's gonna go through his treatment and everything like that. But I'd be lying to you if that's not the lead topic on my brain right now when we are hoping that Joe Shane and Brian Dable, we are hoping that they clean house as an organization, but I don't think they're in a position. I don't think they're in a position as an organization to do that, to undergo a full GM and head coaching search. I don't think they're in a position to do that. But if you fire Brian Dable, which I think will happen 100%, like that's already determined, even though we were sitting here this time last year saying that was a predetermined outcome, that it actually wasn't. I do think like this time Brian Dable's definitely gone. So then what's going to happen there? Are you really seriously going to give Joe Shane the autonomy to go and hire somebody from really outside? And also, who's going to want to come here? You're going to get somebody that's going to take this Giants job. But you have to know that you really have to know that you're a dead man walking if you take this job. So I wonder if they will do something safe. Maybe even hire from within. I don't know.